It's time for Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore. A Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you.
Brought to you by Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Plan your next vehicle purchase or get your credit rolling in the right direction with Regina today. And now, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore.
Good morning, good morning. You are listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and I'm your host, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. So you know what? I got the host in front of my name, but I also have additional two hosts right here. You know, my business partner, my sister, who from another mother, and actually who has me in the kitchen cooking now, is Dr. Teresa Moore.
Listen, I'm getting excited how my name gonna be announced on the stage. Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. T. Happy Saturday.
Good morning. Good morning. How did you have a good week, Dr. T?
I had a great week, Regina. I had a wonderful time doing content creation, and I also had a great time in the on live with you as we created some food.
Yes. And right next to me is what do we call him? The Popos?
Yeah, we got little brother Popo.
Little brother Popo, Gill Garrett. You know, you creating your own lane in here, you know, and I don't even know if I'm comfortable with that because I said I was not going to share a mic. I said I wasn't because I needed my room. And there you go. Here you go, coming over. Oh, I can just share a mic with you. It's about biz. It's about biz. It ain't about you. Like, what the? Yeah, you said that. You hurt my feelings. But it's okay because I bounced back.
You hurt Regina feelings?
No, you didn't.
You know I didn't hurt her feelings.
Listen, it's Saturday morning. We ain't
Saturday morning. You know her
like
feelings
that.
ain't hurt. She excited. She's listen. Did you see what she cooked?
Yes, I was in the kitchen with her.
Not one lunch box this morning. I could have ate it for breakfast. I could have ate it for
She
breakfast.
did make some roast, y'all.
Okay.
She did some roast. She did some butter
Man, I tell you,
asparagus,
man.
and
Okay.
she made some chicken breast. Listen, it was a great tutorial. Y'all catch it on live on Facebook. Go on my page.
But
Come on, y'all.
but let me just say
In the air
this.
fryer, fellas. They brought out the air fryer.
But you know what? So I'm getting ready. I'm getting ready for my husband. That's what I'm getting ready for. I'm getting ready for him. Oh, yeah. You know, God said you got to speak it, right? So I'm getting ready for him. You know, I'll be able to cook a little bit, but then the rest has to be takeout or he has to cook.
Nah,
That's fair.
we're gonna cook. We're gonna cook some food to where your takeout. You're not even gonna want that.
You know, I'm like, ooh, okay, that's a whole different. I'm just gonna be in the kitchen 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, trying to catch up to your speed for the next 20 years.
7 days a week. But you gonna,
Right.
Chef T over there, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Dropping beef brisket sliders and with Parmesan.
Right.
What? I mean, in the middle of the day. And then listen, I am very appreciative of the tutorial yesterday with the chicken in the air fryer because that's one. I just love that. But the roast with the asparagus and the way you just kind of glaze that on through, Dr. Chef T came through with the whole prepping it, walking it through down that line. Listen, for us guys who, you know, I'm gonna be off the market soon. But some of my fellas who still on the market, they need quick meals, but very effective meals. And that was a very effective meal.
Well, little brother,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how to cook for the wife.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna show you how to cook.
Recipes.
I'm gonna show you how to cook, and I don't even know how to cook.
Oh Lord. So listen. So let me just put a disclaimer in. Let me put a disclaimer in, everybody. Listen. Next week, you guys will be able to see what a quick meal looks like with Be in the Driver's Seat crew. So we're going to show those who are still on the market how to make a quick meal. But for those that are off the market, we're going to give you some quick tips.
But it doesn't matter. Whether you're on the market, off the market, it doesn't matter. Married, non-married, who cares? Okay.
I just said
Let me just be clear on that.
But I said that, though.
Okay. Because you've been off the market for 28 years. Or
27.
27.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? Let's 27 years of marriage. That's a long time with the same person. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
I got some seniority.
You got some seniority
in this thing, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so listen. I want to give the word of the day, the word of the week, and that's decision.
Wow.
How are we going to wrap that around our head in a few minutes? How are we going to wrap that around? So when I think about a decision, right, I always got to put it back to the car business, right? And I know you guys going to give your personal opinion about decisions, but when I look at a decision, when a person comes in to get a car from the Queen, you'd already made a decision to put an application online, or you made a decision in here that you needed a car, whether your car broke down, or maybe your car is about to break down, or you need a second car. And 70-80%, well, 90%, 95% of my customers have bruised credit, right? And so you made that decision to get that car. But then, you in a situation, your credit is bruised. You say, you know what, I want this car, I want that car. But then the bank comes back and says, you know what, you can only get this car. But you make a decision not to get a car right now because you want what you want. And you made that decision. Well, you know what? That's not always the right decision or the best decision. So what I'm saying is be thankful when you get a decision from the bank. And it may not be as favorable as you want it to be, right? But be considerate and know that take that decision, that approval right now. Take that decision from the bank and roll with it and get your car. Because 30 days, that approval is only good for 30 days. And you might not get that same approval next month. So that's my thing on decision.
Like that.
Make that decision, stick with it, and don't get bougie because you can't get what you want the first time around.
Listen.
Don't get bougie.
Okay, bougie. Listen, so when we think about decisions, I get excited because, number one, for me, making decisions mean I am sound in my thinking process, right? That means that this decision that was made at the moment, it is what's best for me. And so I think about being tossed. When I think about decisions, not being able to make them. And I have to go back to the word because in James 1:8, it says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
Preach.
So when a decision is made, whether it's favorable or not, we have to be in a place where we can absolutely accept it. All decisions are not final. Some decisions are temporary. So in terms of vehicles, this may be a temporary decision today, and let's work this process now so we can get to where we want to go.
I love that. You always have that. You always put God into it. You always put God into that decision. And when you put God first, like you always do, it helps everybody else come back to where they are.
Amen.
Because when you make your decision, most of the people that listen to Detroit Praise Station, well, all of them should believe in God, right? Right? So hopefully, right? They have some kind of way because they just didn't make it to the Detroit Praise Station. So I just love the fact that you always put the Bible into it. So always thank you, Dr. T. So what's your perspective, Popos, Gill?
Man, my life is based on decisions.
Yeah.
Like you have to, and one thing about making a decision is whether the decision works out in your favor or not, you made a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not standing still. You're not in quicksand. I always encourage people that I come across who are in that waiting pattern or feel like they're being held down, make a choice. I teach my kids, make a choice. Because at the end of the day, at least you're not where you thought you couldn't make it. And so as a police officer, the decisions that I have to make in split-second decisions, life or death situations in split-second decisions. Now, people may not agree with the decision that I make because you know what? They get to take 2 and 3 days and slow it down. They get to take 72 hours and go through the video and look at it line by line, reel by reel. But the decision that I have to make as a child of God, the decision that I have to make as a believer and just who I am as a person, that decision is what crosses my mind is my whole family first. And that split second decision. And I ain't always made the right decisions. But one thing that has happened, though, because I did make it, I didn't stay in the quicksand.
That's good.
I didn't stay in the quicksand. So I always encourage people, make a decision. And just like Regina said specifically, just because you can't get what you want at that time, you didn't get denied. So why won't you take that choice? Why didn't you have to ask yourself at that point, is it me? Or is it the fact that I want more than what I think I can handle?
That's good.
But see, I look at it where the decision you make today, if you still living, will not be your last decision.
That's right.
So you have to, when you make one decision, just think about that decision is going to get you to another level. It's going to get you to the next tier. It's going to get you to the next tier besides that. It's just like when you building your credit, right? You make that one decision to get that car or get that credit card to make that payment, right? In order to get your credit together. Even like with a house, right? When you make a decision to call Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you, and you ready to buy your house, and maybe you can't get the house that you want to get, but Brenda says, no, you're approved for this much. This is what you can what you can get, right? Take this decision as a stepping stone, right?
That's good. That's good. And so here's the thing: your beginning does not dictate your end. So just
say it again. Come on now, Chef. Say it again, Dr. T. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Well, your beginning does not dictate your ending. And so just because I'm here today, this does not mean this is where I'm going to stay.
Man.
Ooh.
Man, that can preach. She can go on that one. She can go. Listen. People so many times get caught up in where they're at that they forget where they used to be. Like they're not thankful. They're not thankful for where they used to be. Like you in your apartment, but remember when you was sleeping in your car?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was homeless. I remember when I was in Woodcrest Commons, sleeping in the corner by the cemetery, waiting on my job application to come through because I wasn't able to get approved for my apartment just yet. And if I stayed consistent, I didn't let nobody know what I was going through at that particular point in time. But 2 police officers who were already on the force talked to the management. They found out that where I was sleeping at. Management came and got me. Mary Peeler came and got me, gave me a pre-approval for my apartment because they vouched for me that my job application was coming through.
Yeah.
Stay consistent. Make a decision. Make a decision.
Well, I like the fact that you said your family or your colleagues, right, who are now your family, looked out for you. Because too many times we get in a situation where we don't tell nobody what's going on, and we stay in that same spot because we're ashamed. We don't say, hey, we need help.
Real.
Or I need to talk to you. You should always have the door open for communication.
Or pride.
Yeah, pride.
That's it.
Or pride.
Right.
It wasn't even so much the fact that I didn't want to let them know. I'm like, I can get it out the mud. I'm from the east side of Detroit. I can do this on my own. I don't need no help. I don't need. If I tell, I ain't worried about. I'm never ashamed of my faults. Like the bad things that I've been through, the whole thing, they made me who I am right now. I made my mind up like that at 10 years old.
That's
like
good.
I'm not gonna be ashamed of my faults. I may be a little embarrassed, but I'm not gonna be ashamed of them because they make me who I am. Those guys didn't even know me and just got caught up in the situation and they knew what I was doing and they vouched for me. Yo, God will make room for you if you have to make the decision. And the best decision you can make is bring him in your business.
Yeah, that's real. Partner with him. That's real.
So I love the fact that we all made a decision to be here today. And we all, any decision that you make, know that it's a stepping stone to your next decision or a stepping stone to your next major decision.
That's good, yeah.
So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Joe Longhammer just texted me and said, Regina, I got to hear my commercial. He doesn't call me the queen. But yesterday we were talking, and let me just tell you what I did. I just got to give you what I did. So I was coming from I was going back into the front part of the dealership where I was coming from service area because I had a customer that I gave a free oil change to. And so I caught Joe before he left because David Snelling, our general manager, was gone, right? So, I'm trying to hurry up and get back up in the front, and Joe was behind me. And so it pushed the door on the left. I was going to the right. Joe said, sister, watch out. And I just started laughing. Joe has never said sister. So when he said sister, watch out, in other words, fool, watch where you're going. But he didn't say that. He said sister. So making decisions is the key. We'll be right back.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the queen of car loans. What kind of deals do you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
if they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
when you come in, just ask for Regina, the queen of car loans.
Ha! It's good to be the queen of car loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Looking to buy or sell your home? Whether you're relocating to Michigan from another state or another country, moving across town, upgrading, or downsizing, Brenda D. Davis from Century 21 Town and Country Real Estate is your locally known home purchase expert. Buying or selling your home is a complex process. Let Brenda simplify it every step of the way. Brenda D. Davis, the realtor that moves you. Call 248-909-9711 and get moving on your new home purchase or sale today. That's 248-909-9711. Call now.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, Service Manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule the next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
We're back, and you're still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat. And we have my favorite lady, right? My other mother, Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you off the seat when you're thinking about getting a house or a rental property, or you looking to lease a property. Yes. Or if you in the kitchen and you at the kitchen table, and you're thinking about buying a house or your second home or your investment property, you need to be thinking about Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you. You can reach her at 248-909-9711, 248-909-9711. If she does not answer her phone because she's a busy lady, you leave her a message or you leave her a nice text. That's what I need you to do. We support each other here on the biz. Be in the driver's seat. We call it the biz, right, Dr. T?
That's right. Be in the driver's seat.
Right. We call that. We're a team, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Let's go.
We
three
talk
the hard
together.
way.
Let's go.
That's right.
We talk together.
Yeah.
We pray together.
Yeah,
we
we
cook
do.
together. And what?
We yell at each other.
And we yell at each other.
They do more yelling at me.
Well, I was gonna say we support each other. Yeah, you got you got yelled at this morning.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
I slid up under the car.
Okay. Well, you probably had your ice skates on this morning.
I did. I really did. I really did.
So we have Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you.
Good
Welcome
morning,
to the
Brenda.
show. Good morning.
I'm
Good
telling
morning.
you, how could you not just love such a lively introduction in the morning? Good morning, Regina.
Well, good morning,
the
Brenda.
Queen of Car Loans. Good morning, Dr. T. Good morning,
morning.
Gil.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to be here today.
Well, good. Hold on, Brenda.
I was listening.
forgot. Brenda, I forgot. Brenda Davis with Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you with Century 21 Town and Country.
Yeah.
Yes. Then she's are you a manager?
I am.
She's a manager
Come
over there.
through management.
She's management.
Come through.
Yes, I manage 2 offices there. We're housed under the same roof, Century 21 Town and Country, and my broker also owns Century 21 Sackmar. So the 2 offices, we're a team, we're a family, and we work together out of that one office.
Oh, that's amazing.
Awesome.
Yep.
That
It's
is-
been
that is-
good. It's been good. But listen, I just want to comment on your segment. You guys did a great segment today on the word decision. And, and just thinking about that, I have always had my feelings about decisions. And I've always said to my family members, my kids, to my friends, the decisions you make, the choices that you make in life, they come with some either benefits or not. So either you're going to reap the benefits from the choices that you make, or you're going to suffer the repercussions because of the decisions that you make. So you just really need to be thoughtful. You need to, like a girlfriend of mine always says, ask God and sit down and wait for him to answer you. And when you do that, you can't go wrong. But yeah, you have to be very mindful of the decisions and choices that you make, because they can come back and bite you and haunt you, or they can reward you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, Brenda. Thank you for sharing that. So what are we talking about today? I'm excited.
We are talking about the seller's disclosure.
Right.
This is a document that's required that every homeowner who is putting their home on the market complete. and they give their agent, their listing agent, permission, authority to share that with the buyer's agent, who will then give it to the buyer to review. And this document is required by the Seller's Disclosure Act. And you are to answer every question on this document as honestly as possible. Anything that is known to you about the condition of your home, it is to be disclosed. If you don't know, then you don't know. And then you can honestly say unknown. But this particular form will cover everything like appliances, electrical, your plumbing, your heating, your roofing. So anything that that is a part of the home, you're going to be asked to honestly disclose that item's condition. There are 4 categories.
So I got a question.
Sure.
So you said, can you just repeat that last part, what you said? Because I think that the audience needs to hear that.
About answering the questions honestly?
Yes,
to
that's
fully
it.
disclose the condition of the home and the items that are being listed on the disclosure statement. It's very important that you do that, because if you fail to answer one of those questions honestly, and your transaction, the sale of the house, goes through, and that buyer, the new homeowner, finds that you had prior knowledge and you did not answer honestly about a particular item, you can find yourself in a legal situation.
Wow.
So it's very important that you answer those questions as honestly as you can. If you don't know, there's not a problem saying you don't know, but you have to be honest in your responses there. Now, if you fail to answer something incorrectly, or even if you don't make this document available to the buyer, that would be grounds for the buyer to walk away from the transaction, because they do have a right to review that document. So it's an important document. I'm going to give you some of the categories. As I said, if you're, for instance, you're a stove and refrigerator. If you are going to leave that there and it's going to be a part of the sale, you would check either yes or no. And when you check yes or no, you're saying yes, it's working. No, it isn't. Not available, NA, would mean that you're not leaving that item there, or the house does not come with that particular item. Or again, if you don't know, you would check unknown. But it would cover all the appliances in the home: washer, dryer, stove, refrigerator. It would also cover your electrical. Is the electrical in good working order? Is there electrical in the house? What type of heating system do you have? Is it forced air? Is it steam? Do you have a boiler? Do you know the age of the boiler or furnace? Hot water tank? Those are the questions that you're being asked. It even covers the roof. Do you know the age of the roof? Yes or no? Do you know the material of which the roof is made of? If it's asphalt, do you know that? If it's some other material, do you know? Or you could check unknown if you don't know. It will ask you also if there's been any leaks in your basement. You have to honestly answer that question. If you know that there's been leakage in the basement, my advice to you is to check yes. And then it says, if you check yes, what have you done to correct that situation? So if you have an invoice where you've called some waterproofing company come out, or if it was a plumbing issue with the sewer or something, you could provide that, paid invoice to show that you've had that problem taken care of. So it's a very detailed document, very necessary that you complete it and that you answer all the questions on that document honestly. It might even ask you, well, it does ask you about insulation. Do you know if the house has just a regular insulation? It's a foam insulation. There's several different types of insulation now that I don't even know the names of, but they'll ask you if you know. If you know, then say yes. If you don't, say unknown. That it's just an important document, and it is one that the seller will be asked to complete, and then to provide a copy of that to all interested parties.
I'm glad you're discussing this because as a homeowner, those are things that we need to know. Like I don't, a lot of stuff I don't keep, but now you're making me think, you know what, you need to put this in a envelope. So especially a roof, you know, if you've been living in your house for a long period of time and you had to have the roof replaced, you need to have that information. But if you never had the roof replaced, you go back to your original selling papers? Is that what you're saying?
You can, and I often ask my sellers to do that. If you don't know the age of the roof, if you still have your documents from your purchase of the home, then that homeowner should have told you. If they knew the age of the roof, it would be noted there, and you can kind of move forward from that point to determine how old or how young that roof is. So, and then I would say it's very important. When you purchase a home, you should keep those documents. Everything that you sign, you need to have a folder, and usually the title company that does the closing for you will give you an envelope with every document in it. So it's important to keep those things because you never know. But just as a courtesy, homeowners, when they're selling their home at the closing table, they'll usually have a list of, like, if they have certain plants or flowers in their yard, this is when they bloom, this is what you feed them, this is how you care for that. You know, and it's just a courtesy. And they'll usually leave on the premises any invoices regarding repairs. So it just one of those things you guys need to know, and I thought I'd share it with you.
Well, that's pretty good.
I think what's more interesting when you say keep for keepsake, the documents from the title company, is there any other documents that we might need to hold on to at the time of purchase, that we may not have gotten at the title, or they just get when you're sitting at the closing table, do they just give you everything at that point?
Well, actually, the documents that you sign initially to purchase or sell a home, you should get a copy of those from your agent. Your realtor should be sharing a copy of every document that you sign. So if you're on the seller's end and you're listing your property, they're going to be listing documents that you're going to sign, giving that agent permission to put your home on the market. Keep that. When you purchase a home, your agent is going to draw up a purchase agreement along with a copy of the seller's disclosure, which as a buyer you have to sign. The homeowner has to sign it, and they're saying that the information contained in this document is accurate as best as I know. And then when that buyer comes along, they're going to sign it, and their signature says we've reviewed it and we're accepting it. Now, that's not to say you still don't need to go a step further to have your own private home inspection. But getting back to your question, Gill, save your documentation. When you go to the closing table, the title company gets a copy of the purchase agreement. They get a copy of all the related documents, and they'll have those, and that'll be a part of your package at the closing table. But you make sure that you keep those documents that you receive from your realtor as well.
Well, Brenda, I have a question. So if you purchase your house and you've had it for 30 years and there's a fire or something happened and those documents are destroyed, how can you get the documents?
You can probably contact your title company.
Okay.
And get them. You can contact your realtor. I hope that realtor has been keeping in touch with you over the years.
Okay, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back because we have to pay some bills.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, service manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
My name is Marilyn Walker, and I am your advocate attorney. For over 25 years, I've helped your friends and neighbors by providing solid legal advice and strategy during difficult times. My clients will tell you that I am experienced, knowledgeable, caring, and reasonable. If divorce, custody, support, or visitation are critical issues facing you, stop worrying and call me, Marilyn Walker, the advocate attorney, at 248-332-2227. Allow a skillful lawyer to advocate for you.
We are still talking to Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you, who's with Century 21 Town and Country. Good morning, Brenda, again.
Good morning, Regina. You just do such a wonderful introduction.
Thank you.
So, Brenda, when we went to break, we were still talking about the detailed document with the Selling Disclosure Act, and I asked about the documents in case there was a fire or you didn't have your original documents. What should we do?
You would contact your title company or your realtor that represented you in that transaction, and they would have copies available to you. We're required by law to keep our documents with 7 years, and so we do have copies available for you should you need it, and that's how you would obtain, those if something happened like a fire, heaven forbid.
Yeah. So, Brenda, tell the listeners, how do they reach you?
You can reach me at any time at 248-909-9711. Again, that's 248-909-9711.
And I know you have a website or an email address or something in case
I do.
For those who catch it late.
I do. The email, Brenda D at msn.com. You can reach me there 24/7. And I also have a website, Brenda D Davis, Realtor.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Brenda. I know I got a lot of information.
Yeah,
I hope you all
definitely got a lot of it.
had your pens and paper out because she gave us some great tips about the Selling Disclosure Act.
We'll be right back because Joe Longhammer just texted again. He said, "You know what, Regina, you need to take a break because I need to hit a commercial again." We'll be right back with Alan with Stockton Mortgage.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. What kind of deals you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
if they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
when you come in, just ask for Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Ha! It's good to be the Queen of Car Loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Are you sinking farther and further in debt? Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Facing garnishment, repossession, or foreclosure? Thinking of filing bankruptcy but still have questions? Call Lewis Law at 248-785-3780. Attorney Lewis has over 20 years of experience handling Chapter 7 and 13 bankruptcies. The bankruptcy code is complicated, and you need an experienced attorney to guide you through the process. We can take care of your bankruptcy and probate needs. Call Lewis and Law, 248-785-3780. We're a debt relief agency. We can help people file for bankruptcy under U.S. Bankruptcy Code. Paid non-attorney spokesperson.
You are still listening to Be in the Driver's Seat, and we have joining us now Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage and Brenda Davis, the realtor who moves you. They are in the studio ready to get started. So, good morning, Alan.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning, Dr. T. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning, Gill Popo.
Yeah, good morning, everybody.
Again. So it's super excited about the show, this part of the show today, the segment, because we're going to be talking about inspection waiver and appraisal waiver. What is that? What is it? What is inspection waiver and appraisal waiver? And the good thing about this segment, once a month, that I love, is that we guys want you to put this on the calendar, because when do you have a mortgage person in the room, right, and a real estate agent at the same time? See, you know what? We're getting you educated. We're getting you educated for your next level. So what's going on, Alan, today? What's going on, sir?
Awesome. Yes. So I'm definitely excited to talk about this. The market in real estate is definitely changing again, and that brings on some different strategies that clients might have to use to get their offers accepted. So I think we should probably start with Brenda. Brenda, what's the changes that are going on in the market? What's going on with the real estate market right now?
Well, Alan, you're absolutely right. The market is changing once again, and I always say it's forever changing. You have one situation today and something else tomorrow, but we were really looking at multiple offers like crazy a few months ago. And then it kind of settled down a little bit. But here lately, I see that they're resurfacing again. So you're getting the multiple offers, meaning that as a buyer, you have to be very competitive in the offer that you and your realtor decide to write and present to the seller, because you're going to be up against others. It's not, just a one-to-one kind of basis anymore. It's changed again.
I just got news for one of my clients that he lost out to a offer that was over asking price again. So yes, we're back there again.
Well, I just wrote an offer for a client, a home in Farmington Hills, great house. I believe the list price was like $419. We offered $430. Guess what? We didn't get it. And you know what the determining factor was? The occupancy issue. The homeowner needed 60 days. My client was willing to give them the 60 days, but they're leasing. This first-time buyers, right? They're leasing, so they're still obligated to pay their monthly rent there. And so they wanted to charge, or we proposed to charge the homeowner a daily rate, per diem rate. And that rate was based on my client's anticipated mortgage payment. And that blew it because the other couple came along and says, okay, we'll give you 60 days occupancy free at no charge. Oh, well.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the determining factor. Even though our offer was more monetarily, that occupancy was big for that homeowner.
So my question is, in that case, why wouldn't, so you couldn't, as an agent, you can't go back because you don't know that person's what they offered, right? You can't go back and offer something else because you got multiple offers on the table?
Right. And again, it's always been my advice to my client, make your first offer your best offer because you may not get a second opportunity. And when you're looking at multiple offers, that really brings that right full force. You know, you don't have a second chance. Somebody presents an offer that's better than yours, or not necessarily better by the dollar amount, but what accommodates that homeowner best. And the fact that we had a little bit higher offer, that wasn't important to that homeowner, obviously. What was important to them is that they needed 60 days in which to vacate, and this other party was willing to give them that 60 days at no charge.
Absolutely. You know, talking more about this too, you know, the thing that's coming back is the appraisal waivers and the inspection waivers. And that always scares me. That always scares me because you're putting it out there saying, hey, I don't care what this appraises at. I'm okay paying this price. So if it appraises 20, 30,000 below, I'm okay paying that extra 30,000.
So whoa. So if you make an offer and appraisal comes up less, then the person's going to still pay what over the appraised value?
Yeah, that's one of the things that was happening.
So it's not happening now, though, right?
6 months ago.
It's not happening now, right?
Well,
now?
it depends on the buyer.
It's going to come back.
Regina. It depends on the buyer. It depends on how bad that buyer wants that house and what they're willing to present in writing to get it. And if it means that they're willing to, like Alan said, waive their appraisal, then that may be something that's enticing to the homeowner. But on the other side of that, as a realtor representing my buyer client, I am going to tell you the issues that you can run into by waiving that appraisal. The whole point of an appraisal is to determine the value of the property, which in turn tells your lender how much they're going to give you to purchase that property. And so when you're financing and you waive that appraisal, you're not determining the true value. You don't know how much above or even how much below the true market value of that property is because you've waived the appraisal.
Absolutely. So simple math. Let's educate you guys now. So
please do, because I'm over here frowning, and I know it's a serious frown over here.
Let's say a house is listed for $100,000. You make an offer for $100,000. You waive that appraisal. You say, I don't care what it appraises at. I'm paying $100,000 for this house, and your down payment is 5%. That's $5,000. So if that appraisal comes in at $90,000 rather than $100,000, you've agreed to pay the $100,000 for the house. So you have an extra $10,000 you have to pay, plus your 5% down payment based off of the $90,000.
And so what that does in turn is that you've already gone into the purchase of this house upside down because you've paid more for the property than it's actually worth. And so another conversation that I have with my buyers, buyer beware. Life happens. What happens if you have to move in 2 years? What happens if you relocate because of your job or your family size increases and it requires you to get more space? You're not going to get that money back in that short period of time. You're not going to earn enough equity in the house to make up the difference between what it appraised at and what you actually paid. And quite often, Alan, I'm in situations with my buyers where they're offering well above 10 grand. You're talking about $30,000, $40,000 above list price. That's how bad they want that house. So now when you walk in the door, if this house appraises for $40,000 less, you walk in the door upside down because you've owed more on the property than it's worth.
So let me ask you this question. In a case like that, the scenario that you gave, would you encourage the buyer at that point to pay the money up front so that it wouldn't be upside down?
They're going to pay it up front because your lender is only going to give you
$90,000
what the property appraised at. So anything above and beyond that, when you go to the closing table, you need to have the difference.
So you coming in with the cash. So is that really upside down if that's the decision? Like, because when you still have the $90,000 and the house is $90,000. So you've paid out of pocket and now your mortgage is the same. Like the $90,000 is really what you're paying.
No.
You just had to pay up front. Is that correct?
Well, the thing is, you're paying $10,000 above. The house appraised at 90. It was marketed at 100. You paid the 100. Even though you're bringing that $10,000 difference to the table, that's $10,000 out of your pocket.
Oh, absolutely.
That if you have, even though you're not mortgaging that amount, that's still $10,000 out of your account from somewhere. So if you have to sell that house before that house earns enough equity to make up that extra $10,000, you're what they call underwater, upside down.
Absolutely. So we always are just very transparent with our clients, and we want to talk to them about the real numbers. What's the worst case scenario? What can really happen when you do make this kind of an offer? So
you coach them. You
absolutely.
Tell them. You just don't let them when a buyer, whether it's with you, Brenda, or with you, Alan, you coach them. You give them advice on what you give them the options, right?
And Brenda and I work together really one-on-one with that too, because I want to know what her opinion is of the value.
Okay.
You know, and then what's the worst case, Brenda? Okay, so now let's work with that worst case and show that client what those numbers actually look like.
And the thing is that I've spent my entire career being professional and ethical. And when I'm working for a client, be it seller or the buyer, I want to be upfront. I want all your questions answered, those questions that you don't even know to ask. I'm going to give it to you straightforward, lay all the cards on the table. And if after you know everything that you need to know, if you say, Brenda, I still want to write this offer, then I'm going to write it. But I'm not going to allow you to go into a situation blindly and not really know what it is that you're doing, because we're educators. You know, I work with first-time buyers quite often, or even homeowners who have been in the house for the last 25, 30 years. They don't know what's going on in the market right now because it's changed.
Correct. Yeah.
So, you know, you have to really be upfront to be professional, and you have to be honest.
I like the fact that you saying you being honest. You are honest, because honest is the key. You said you still would write it, but you give them your opinion, and whatever decision you make, that's the decision that you make. And I love the fact too that you said, Alan, that y'all work together. You get her opinion, because sometimes when you have a working relationship, it's not about giving your opinion. They don't want to hear it. You know, I just honestly had to learn how to have a business partner and really honestly care what she thought, or care what, you know what I mean, seriously, because I didn't care in the past. I didn't, you know, probably because I didn't have business partners like that. But, you know, I mean, you know, so it's two ways that I look at things. You got to listen. You got to listen to your business partner, right? And then you got to find out what kind of relationship you have with them. As far as, do you trust that person? You got to be with somebody you trust, right? Because you're putting your livelihood in their hands, right? The mortgage and the real estate run together. And that's why I'm so glad that we are doing this segment every month.
And, you know, that's a good way to look at it too, Regina, a good way to title it, business partner. because we're in partnership with our clients. We're in partnership. We lead them. We give them information that they wouldn't know. Alan is telling them about the different types of mortgages that they would qualify for, what's going to be the best mortgage for you in the situation financially for you to select. When I'm looking at houses with clients, we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And it really becomes fun. I know it sounds scary, but I can tell you my clients and I, we're laughing. And what is this? And why is that over there? I don't know. That looks like a dungeon. We just have a ball. And so not only am I working with them, and a lot of these clients I meet today and we start looking. And I've never met them before. But by the time that transaction goes to close, we have established a definite relationship. We've had some fun. We've gotten a chance to know and learn one another. So it's really a fun venture. It can be scary, but I'm going to try to take the fear out of the equation, as will Alan.
Absolutely. Do we have time for just a fun little question for Brenda here?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah? Okay. What's the craziest thing you've seen in any house that you've shown?
Oh, God. Like 3 layers of wallpaper. All of it was terrible. The border didn't match the wallpaper. The bathroom and the walkout basement had this peel-off, stick-on floor that looked like it was no thicker than that piece of paper that Dr. T is writing on. Oh, gosh. Shelves on every wall.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what this homeowner had on those shelves, but they were everywhere. You walked in the front door, and my the husband of the buyer, when he walked in the door, he darn near knocked his shoulder off because there was a shelf right there. And, and the house is still on the market.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, my client was interested in it, but it was going to take somewhere between $20,000 to $30,000 just to remove all the wallpaper to determine the condition of the wall beneath before they could paint it. So
I've
that was
removed
crazy.
wallpaper before. It's not a fun job.
No, not 3 layers for sure.
Not even one.
But you guys are laughing. But you know what? I said yesterday, you have to be able to see beyond what you see. So even though you walked in and saw a catastrophe, you had to be able to see beyond the catastrophe to make.
That's so true. But you know what? And that's exactly what I told my client, because when we walked in the door and she saw that wallpaper, she says, we don't even have to see it. I'm like, wait a minute, let's walk through and look at it. And as it turned out, it really checked all of her boxes. But to have to put $20,000 to $30,000 in there to get what was the most hideous looking wallpaper off the walls. And what really killed the deal is that the homeowner wasn't willing to give on her price at all. So as I said, it's still on the market, but out there for a while. Maybe the homeowner will see the light at some point.
Funny.
So I'm excited, though, what you're saying, because you're telling listeners, you know what? It's a buyer's market right now, right? A seller's market. Is that what it is? A seller's market, right?
Market still.
So don't get caught up in what you see. Right?
But let me say this one other thing, too, Dr. T.
You can say that when we come back from this quick break.
Okay.
Brenda Davis, the realtor that moves you with Century 21 Town and Country, and Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, service manager at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Longhammer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule the next service appointment at Joe Longhammer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Hi, Joe Longhammer from Longhammer Chevrolet here with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. What kind of deals you have right now, Regina?
This tax season, I'll match your down payment up to $500 on any new or used vehicle.
So if a customer brings $250,
I'll make it $750.
if they bring $500,
I'll make it $1,000.
when you come in, just ask for Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Ha! It's good to be the Queen of Car Loans.
Yes, Joe knows.
To find me and this limited time deal, Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
We're back, and you still listen to Be in the Driver's Seat, and we're still sitting with Brenda Davis of Century 21 Town and Country, and Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage, and Gill Garrett, the Popos, and the president of the Pontiac School Board.
No doubt. Listen, this has been the information that is given is priceless, right? It is priceless for those who are in the market for commercial, in the market as well, in the market for residential. But when how do you deal with these young home owners and younger sellers when they had maybe a decade of the McDonald generation, we want it right now, and it sounds like that's kind of what that desperation is when say, whatever it is, whatever it costs, I'll pay for. How do you really manage them? Because and I'm interested in that because that's where we're at right now. I have younger. My sons, they're in that age where they're starting to look for homes, but it's that I don't know, it's that generation. How do you manage them? Those couples.
I think it's technology for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely the way that they communicate is so much different. We went from the phones, cell phones. Everybody call you and blow your phone up, and they want you to pick up like right now. And if you didn't, like, where are you? What are you doing? Right. And so we went from that to email, and so we went to email, and then with email, it was pretty much the same thing. They want an answer just like that. Well, now that we have text messaging.
There's no reason not to have an
there's
answer.
no reason. I don't care what you're doing. You look at your phone and you respond to me now, right?
That's right.
Well, it's just crazy. So, the younger generation now, everything, I think they research the heck out of everything. If they're anything at all like my son-in-law, my daughter, before they do anything, they have researched it to the gill. I didn't think we were going to have grandkids. I'm researching that too.
It's going to cost me about $30,000 in 6 months.
You're right, So, it's all about being patient. You accept your clients as they come to you.
Gotcha.
And you just work with them accordingly. People need different things. People communicate differently, and you have to just be able to determine the personality type and adapt to that. Because your goal is to develop a relationship with your client, a long type relationship, because you want their business if they go to buy something else. You want their family's business, their friends, their coworkers' business. So it's about establishing the relationship first. And to do that, you have to get to know the individual that you're working with. But, that's pretty much it. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, I think, so we actually have an app. So you could download an app on your phone. You could fill out your application right on your phone, submit it over to me right on your phone. You can upload documents right on your phone directly into the file that we see. They can run scenarios with different purchase prices, different down payments, get the monthly payment, get everything all kind of together right inside that app. Those are the things that are really helping us connect with this generation.
Yeah,
man,
that's absolutely true. And then we, with my end of it, I can create a search of homes based on what you're looking for. That would be the location, the price range, the number of bedrooms, bathrooms that you want. If there are any other particulars, you let me know. If you want an attached 4-car garage, you let me know those things. I create a search for you, and you'll get an email, a welcome email initially, but that will give you a list of all the properties that fit that criteria. And then after that time, you'll only receive an email when a new property hits the market that matches what you said you want. So they can at their own leisure, their own time, take a look at their phone or whatever and see what's on the market right now. And then from there, we take off. Give me a call. You want to go see this house? I'll schedule the appointment. Off we go.
And I'm glad we're doing this once a month because there's a lot to unpack. How do you visuals now, right? Let's talk about that a little bit because we're still in that lane with that generation. I'm glad they can download an app, right? They can have now that creates a list for you for properties that you need to go after. How do you like the 360 views that people put on when they're selling their homes? Does that help you as a seller or an agent? Does it help you on the seller side or the buyer side when they have that 360 view where you're able to go and walk through the home?
Yeah.
Is that something that's preferred for you?
I think everything helps.
Okay.
The more that the prospective buyer can see, the more you're enticing them to want to get a closer look. But I've seen Some photos can be deceiving.
Gotcha.
You know, I've seen some homes where the photos of the house look great. When you get in, you're like, what? Is this the same house, you know?
There's one company that does photographs for real estate agents, and every time I see one of their listing photos, I'm like, man, this looks like a gorgeous house, but like you just take your step back and you're like, there's a filter on that. Mm-hmm. There's definitely a filter on that. You know?
Yeah, but I think more is better. The more you can offer that prospective buyer, the more likely you're going to entice them to a point where they want to come in and see it. And once they get to the home and actually see it, physically see it, the greater the chances are that you're going to attract an offer that's, at least what you're asking for the property. That's the whole thing. If you price the property, market it at the right price, and you have a good photographer to come in and take the pictures and the videos and all of that, the better chances of attracting that buyer much faster than you would if you hadn't done those things.
So is everybody getting into the 360 as far as the videos? I mean, are people doing that? I've seen it, but are people doing that for it?
People do it,
and the drones, too, the drone shots.
Yeah, the drone shots are really nice, too, particularly if you have a really nice property. Sometimes your realtor will incur the cost to have those pictures taken and the drones and all of that. Sometimes they'll split the cost with the homeowner. But, as I said, more is better.
But why wouldn't a homeowner pay for something like that? That's going to make their house sell much faster, right?
Yeah.
I'm not understanding that.
Well,
I'm not saying that they object to it, but many times, as I said, the realtor will pay for it.
Yeah. Okay.
As a service that they're providing to the homeowner. And then many times they'll say, okay, I'll get the interior photographs done and the video. If you want the drones, you take care of the cost associated with that. So it's just, the type of agreement you reach with the homeowner.
Okay. I like that, though. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we run out of time here, I know we talked about the appraisal waiver. I think one other thing that people are starting to do again is the inspection waiver. This one scares me even more.
Doesn't it? Scares me to death.
Scares me even more. This is where one of the first things that you do when you buy a home, when you get into contract, you hire a private inspector to walk through. They inspect every nook and cranny. They make sure everything is working. They make sure you know exactly what you're buying.
That's all true.
And I think a lot of people are going to start waiving that inspection, saying, I don't care what's wrong with the house. I'm going to buy it from you, and I'm not even going to do an inspection. Or I'm going to do an inspection just for my informational purposes. I cannot walk away from this deal if the inspection's bad.
Yeah, that's a really bad decision. I guess I've been fortunate, and as much as I've been able to stress the importance of a home inspection to my clients, so I've not had one to waive it yet, but I've heard of that situation occurring. And it's really tough because the home inspection, as I say, it's the best $600-700 that you're going to ever spend when it comes to the purchase of 100%. This home. Because the home inspector is there to walk the perimeter of the home, the exterior. They're going to let you know about the roof, the chimney, if the house needs increased grading, if there are issues with the structure of the home. They may refer you to a structural engineer.
And how much the cost is.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. There's so much that they bring to the table, and for you to dare think about waiving, it scares the heck out of me.
I agree.
So I know you want to finish this conversation, right? But we have to go. We're going to have to continue that maybe next month. Maybe you can make a mental note that we'll continue that conversation next month, because I know we have a lot to talk about. Alan Garbacik with Stockton Mortgage. How can we reach you?
Absolutely. Direct line to me is 248-582-6680. And my office is Woodward and Long Lake, right in Bloomfield Hills.
Please say your number twice.
Sure. 248-582-6680.
Brenda Davis, the realtor that moved you. How can we reach you?
My number is 248-909-9711. Again, 248-909-9711.
All right. You ready to take it on out, Gill?
Hey, trust the process.
Hey, he said trust the process. Have a good week. And according to Gill Garrett, trust the process. And Dr. T is saying goodbye. Have a good week, too, because she had to slide out here about 10 minutes ago. Have a good week.
You've been listening to Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and mental health expert, Dr. Teresa Moore.
Brought to you by Joe Lunghammer Chevrolet of Waterford.
Be in the Driver's Seat, a Saturday morning mix of cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. From Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, and Dr. Teresa Moore, thank you for listening.